Moonbeams. Happy, hello. Welcome to Tuesday. Let me find Willow. How's everyone doing? There we go. Hello and blessed day. Hello.
Hello, Queen.
Why, hello, Queen. How are you? This lovely day.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm grateful. That's the word for it.
Hey, man. Welcome. Hello, Zion
Hi.
Lion Head. Yeah, wow, we're riding through this new moon energy now. It's just constant, isn't it? There is never a dull moment being a human on planet Earth right now. Holy wow.
It doesn't end. It just keeps going. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing. And
And intensifying all at every step. It's just a little. I love my son always uses the term extra. It's just like a little, it's like a little extra being a human on the planet right now, isn't it?
that's a good word for it, for sure.
Right? Yeah. So,
Yeah, Lisa and I were chatting about what we might talk about this morning, and we both spent a significant amount of time on Maui. So we're really feeling the grief and the loss over there, along with our tribe and our community on the island, and tuning in with them on an energetic level. And just wow, what an intense time for that island. And it just feels like this deep grief continues to kind of snowball. The pandemic really took us all into this inner realm, and for a lot of us, we're still being sucked into it. And I know that a lot of my clients right now are sitting in that place of like, oh, I really need to pay attention to this grief in order for it to fully pass. And I know, Lisa, you have been on such a deep, deep journey for a long time now, a couple of years.
yeah. It's interesting because I was reflecting with what's happening in Maui that I had gotten this tattoo 2 years ago when I was in
On
Maui,
Maui, yeah.
like this time, right now in this next few weeks. And what I was entering into the dark night, soul, winter, what we're going to talk to, it was the entry point in, and I feel like I'm just coming on the other side now, but we'll go into more depth around that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah. So there's these seasons that we go through in our life, and we actually we go through these seasons in a year. We all know them: spring, winter, summer, fall. And we actually go through these same four seasons in a month cycle because the moon relates to each one of those seasons. So when it's a new moon, which we're on right now, this is the phase of winter, so season of winter. And then from there we move into spring. That's the waxing moon, and then full moon is summer, that week of the month, and then we start to wane again. So that's the fall phase, and then we're in the new moon again, and that's the winter once again. And so we go through this cycle every single month, whether we're paying attention to it or not. It is happening inside of our
And I'm
bodies.
just going to drop in. I think we go through this cycle sometimes every single day, too.
Oh, exactly. We
Right?
go we go through these cycles in a single breath. I mean, there's so many layers of these seasons that we go through in this cycle that we go through. And it really is a Taoist way to live your life because it's this expansion and contraction. And you can trust if you're in a deep contraction, there will be a big expansion that follows. It's just nature's way. And so one of the things when Lisa entered into her sort of life cycle deep winter phase, we were talking and I was like, you can't rush the winter. You can't rush it. You want to, but you can't.
Mm-mm.
And so I think there's skill in being in it. And there's actually a lot of value in it that our culture and our society doesn't put value on. So you have to find your own value through it. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, very much so. And you so beautifully walked me through many pieces of that. And this analogy, this understanding, this Taoist way of understanding, we understand cycles, but until we're embracing and embodying them, it's a whole different ballgame. And so, um, the surrender surrender is the biggest piece to it, right? And I use the analogy often, like when the leaf is falling from the tree, there's actually a piece of that in my book. When the leaf is falling from the tree, the leaf, nor neither the leaf or the tree are anxious to hold on. They know that it's the natural cycle. And so the leaf lets go and it dances about and falls exactly where it is meant to fall, and then becomes nourishment for the same roots of which it was grown from, right? And so I think the most beautiful piece of going through winter is that it is this fresh start, and the tool, the methodology for it is finding so much surrender and having so much trust. And I'm not saying that that's the easiest piece. I mean, I'm 2 years into this journey, and I went into the death dark night winter portal when I was in Maui 2 years ago. And the energy I'm walking in right now feels exactly the same. It's really, I don't want to say it's hard because I don't want to infuse that. It has not been as easy to be out in the world. You know, we have online businesses. It's really interesting to be in the winter and have an online business that requires you to be out and to be in spring and summer all the time. And it's not sustainable. And so giving grace to be in the winter is the hardest and the most beautiful opportunity. And it takes as long as it fucking takes. And I think that is the like, because I'm like, how am I still here 2 years later? And I feel exactly the same frequency as when I went in. There's a portal of death and a portal of birth. The spring and the fall hold similar essences.
Yeah.
And so when when you taste them and when you know them, it's an indicator that the next season is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And so right now you're feeling, you can start to feel that quickening of spring in your life, in your bigger life cycle. Like it's I'm here. It's just
A lot of false starts. I'm like, I'm ready. And then I'm like, I'm going to do this thing. And then I'm like, and now I have to come back in. And so it's highly, manifestor generator. It creates anxiety.
yeah.
And I want to fight it because it doesn't feel like my natural rhythm. Yet the message keeps going like, you have to surrender more because I'm being reconditioned. So when I come out the other side, my service actually has an amplification
Yeah.
that is more aligned than when I went through the death and the winter. The
Oh gosh,
spring.
so good. So good. So I just want to highlight what you're speaking to and what you're doing is like you're really taking the medicine out of winter and you're taking this time to replenish and rejuvenate yourself, your adrenals, your reserves, so that when this next rush of life comes to you, because it certainly is and will, you have the energy for it and you have the wisdom that you gained in that dark night of the soul period. That's why it's so important to stay present to it and to just take it one step at a time. And when spring comes, it doesn't just come one day. It's like it comes and then it's winter again the next day, and then
Right?
it's spring. It does this little like hot cold dance for a while. Same with fall. And so when you're in this like these seasons in your life, really stay present to the shift as it happens, because it's going to do that pulsation. So pulse with it. That's the Taoist way, is to pulse with it and to stay in alignment with the expansion and contraction as they come. And they come in every single breath.
Yeah.
They come in every single
All a
day. They come in a
death,
month
right?
cycle.
Every breath is a death and a rebirth.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So they come constantly, and when you give them the deep awareness, I think that I think when you really, really give them the consciousness and the awareness that they deserve, you actually do go through it faster. We say you can't rush the winter, but I do think that it does go quicker. Even though if it's like 2 years, I went through it for about 7 months, and I was like, God, I want to get out of this.
I don't like this. This isn't fun. What you resist persists, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So really, like, what are you learning from it? And that's something that we would love to hear from you. Like, if you are in a time in life, or you have been, we all have been, so I'm sure you have too, a time in life where it's like, God, I'm just in this deep night of the soul, this dark night of the soul space, this winter phase of life. Like, what did you learn? What are you learning? What are you getting from it? If we can start to share that with each other more, then we can actually expand and grow what we're learning in it, each and every one of us individually.
Yeah, and it's really come into my awareness through this journey. Several things have. I mean, I'm not the same person. I mean, this was a significant death rebirth cycle. You know, it was my Saturn return, and it, as you know, it no part of my life or my being actually looks the same as it did when I entered it. And I want to speak to how much grief is involved in that process. And so whether it's I don't want to say a tiny blip because there's no blip that's tiny, or if it's a massive life redo.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe the collective consciousness of humanity is going through a death, rebirth, dark night, winter cycle collectively, because we're emerging a new earth, and we have to do that very palpably, very cellularly, and very personally. And so I love that when people share their experience of what worked for them, what it was like, and what they were able to like reclaim on the other side. I mean, my entire purpose on the planet is pivoted, and I know I need to walk people through grief and reclamation of the true essence of soul purpose. That I think we dance around the edges of it until we actually go all the way into the sink at the bottom of it. And I love the analogy that you have to hit the bottom to have that like springboard to get back up. But, you know, if you think about it like the leaf falling or the sinking to the bottom of the sea, there's this current that happens, and you can't kick off until you hit the bottom. So you kind of got to do it, but you're not doing it alone.
Yeah,
I think that's an
not
important
alone.
piece.
I think
Yeah.
that's an important thing, just to remember that if you're deep in grief over anything in life, a personal loss or a big collective loss like they're having on Maui, you know, you are not alone. So reach out, ask for
We
support.
got you.
Huh?
I said, we got you. We have tools and resources to help. I wanted to, my book, I had written a poem about my whole dark night journey. And there's this one line I want to read. It's just one line. It says, "You cannot rush the winter, dear one," she was told. "When the bloom comes, it is memorable beyond anything ever before known. The beauty that pours forth takes the breath of even the most stoic." So just remembering that it's a natural sequence, and it's highly agitating and uncomfortable.
Mm,
And the magic cannot prevail if first you do not experience the death.
that's right. That's so true. And you have a retreat coming up, which is a great thing to do if you are going through one of these periods, or even
Yeah,
if you want to just go have some fun in Sedona.
right. Well, actually, day one of the retreat is actually a journey into a death portal ritual where we're going to ritualize. And I actually just I walked through it myself 2 weeks ago as an initiation. I took myself to the underworld and laid down. And it's exactly what I'm going to walk the women through. To ritualize these turning points is so empowering, and then to witness it in a collective that's safe and loving. As you said, like if you resist it, it persists. But I believe when we take this into ceremony and into ritual, we get to accelerate the process a little bit, because after the death, we are going to walk through rebirth collectively and resurrection and remembrance. So yeah, Sedona, October 12th through the 15th. I'm really excited.
Be Rise Retreat. So if you have not checked that out yet, it will be in Lisa's link tree, right?
It is. It's all
It's
there. Yep.
all there. Check it out, and you might want to sign up and get your booty over there, because I think it's going to be a deep and powerful, I know it's going to be a deep and powerful transformational retreat for all those who attend.
Yes. And the beauty of
And
Sedona, you
I
can't,
know,
you know.
I mean, how can you go wrong in Sedona? All you have to do is like walk in Sedona and you get transformed. So
Exactly. So it's like
if you
quadruple
walk with
whammy.
Lisa in Sedona, I mean, you are sure to get the transformation.
Oh, maybe so, yes. What are
And
you
then I've
creating?
got a little freebie for you. I'll put it in the link tree. It's called the Ancient Wisdom Approach, and it's sort of it will give you a deeper understanding of these cycles, these seasons, as they pertain to the moon phases. So look for that in the link tree. It's not in there yet. I got to get my team to get it in there, but I'm gonna do it this week.
Yes, indeed. So we love doing this. Our Dreaming the Queen Awake. I like to call them chick chats behind the scenes, and it's always a pleasure. We appreciate everyone that gets to tune into this and drop us your questions. We are happy to speak to what it is that you are experiencing, based on any wisdom that wants to pour through us. So have a blessed day, everyone. Love to your light.
Um,
Bye for now.